Greetings from the stars, everyone. It is me, Space Trucker 66, and I'm here with my very first gaming review. So, I do apologize for being inactive on my channel. College has really been quite a challenging road ahead, and I do start the spring session next Tuesday. They are online, thankfully, so I can do them from my own PC or at home, but there is one more. It's commercial printing, and that is a go-in class that I start on Monday, the following Monday, the 24th. And so, yeah, I'm going to have 3 courses in total, so that's definitely going to mean more delays probably in the future. I've also got some other things. My life has gotten busier, so I've got other things that I'm going to be doing as well. I'll also be starting an archery class on the 22nd. So, yeah, I'm going to be offline a bit more, which is a good thing for me. This is good news for me, and I've been seeing my therapist, and she suggests I get out a bit more, which is a pretty good idea. It feels good to touch grass for once. But anyways, let's get on to this gaming review. So for my first gaming review, we'll be taking a look at one of my favorite space shooter classics from my childhood, known as Space Madness. Space Madness was released in the year 1993 by Changeling Studios and was created by High Risk Ventures. The game's plot is as follows. A vicious alien invasion force is establishing colonies at thousands of locations along the edge of the galaxy. At their current rate, they are expected to reach Alliance territory within a year. All attempts at diplomacy have failed. The aliens are intent upon conquering our galaxy and destroying our civilization. Alone at the frontiers of human space, you must seek out, engage, and defeat countless enemy warships and bases. Arrayed against you are myriad fighting ships and weapons, as well as the aliens' network of subspace vortex gates which enable them to pull reinforcements from their home world. Your mission is to deny the enemy control of sectors, penetrate their networks of subspace vortex gates, and survive long enough to relay intelligence information. The Alliance will provide you with the DS-27E Deep Space Fighter, beyond which you have only your wits and reflexes. Good luck, you'll need it. The plot is already interesting as it is, and also the animation in this game is absolutely amazing. So as shown here on the screen, we've got a square-shaped playfield with your DS-27E Space Fighter in the center. You start out with just the standard laser pellets and the standard amount of torpedoes. Along the way, you'll face annoying enemies such as this small little orb that appears on the screen and then vanishes. Yeah, this thing is pretty much harmless, so all you have to do is pretty much shoot it a few times to take it out. However, you'll then face the more tougher enemies, such as this cylindrical-shaped fighter that will shoot laser pellets at you the second it makes contact with your ship. If you try to get away from it, it will continue to follow and shoot at you. Get too far away, it'll start shooting torpedoes at you as well. It takes quite a few hits to take down this ship, but after you do, they'll sometimes drop goodies, such as spare torpedoes, ammunition, fuel, and raw material. Raw material, by the way, is important, as you will need it to heal your stats, as shown on the screen here, that says damage report. The damage report, by the way, shows you all the systems of your ship, such as life support, your pellets, engines, etc. Each time your ship takes damage, you'll notice that it goes down. However, you need raw material to repair them. The ship can automatically repair the damaged parts that were hit by enemy attacks using the raw material. Raw material can be collected 2 ways, such as by destroying enemy ships or by shooting these large red asteroids to collect them. If you already have enough raw material, it'll automatically be ejected. These small flashing white and red dots are ship's fuels. That's right, these are fuel cells, actually, sorry. And this is absolutely essential. You'll always want to keep an eye on that fuel gauge at all times, because if your fuel gauge hits 0, well, that's pretty much game over. Your fuel will deplete over time slowly. Also, if you use the ship's shield, you'll tend to usually use up more fuel, and also if you accelerate or thrust, you tend to use up a lot. Also, along the way, as you acquire more power-ups, such such as the cloaking device on higher levels, this will definitely eat up a lot of your fuel, so you'll want to try and replenish it as much as you can by defeating as many enemies as you can. Oh, you better not dilly-dally for too long, because if you do, the fuel will eventually deplete on its own if you use too much fuel, as mentioned before. And as you can see here, once your fuel gauge hits 0, every support system on your ship fails, and, well, it's pretty much game over. You can also tell when enemies are nearby, or close, or at a dangerous range by seeing the condition level at the top here. On the radar, you'll see a condition bar such as condition red, yellow, or green. Green means you are furthest away from enemies, or there are no enemies within range of your ship, and this means it's safe to traverse the area. It usually goes green after you destroy the alien station. Otherwise, by default, it's condition yellow, indicating that there are enemies in the sector. Once it turns red, this means the enemies are within range of your ship, meaning within weapons fire, so you'll definitely want to shoot them down once they get close enough. Once you get to higher levels, however, you'll definitely want to avoid some of these ships here, as shown here. These little ships on the bottom with the 3 engines. These ones can shoot guided missiles at your ship, and you'll hear this high-pitched noise emit off from your ship, which is a missile lock warning, indicating that a locked missile is headed on right for your ship. They're very fast and hard to destroy and can cause quite a bit of damage, so you'll want to hit them, or destroy the enemy ship as quick as you can. Your ship can actually gather these weapons as well, meaning that you can use guided missiles on them as well. Pretty useful, but they are limited. Use the shift or control key, depending on what type of computer you use, to switch between torpedoes and guided missiles. These will be very useful in taking down enemy ships. Along the way, you'll obtain possibly one of the most important items of all, the radar tracking device, which can track invisible weapons and invisible mines. Yeah, almost forgot to mention, once you get to higher levels, the enemy stations will be guarded by mines, which are invisible to your ship's eye and radar until you pick up a radar upgrade, which is usually gold or silver. This allows you to see them, and if you bump into them or get too close, they will explode and do quite a bit of damage to your ship, so you'll definitely want to be careful. Don't shoot them either, so you'll just want to navigate around them. Also, no, I almost forgot to mention something. The main objective, which is to destroy the enemy station. Yep, this big round ring with the spikes on it is the alien space station. It has its own means of defenses. Once you start on the lower levels, it starts out with just torpedoes and laser pellets, and it doesn't move, so all you have to do is keep shooting it until it explodes. But once you see the station start to explode in random places, as you see here with the explosion clouds, this means it's about to blow up. You'll definitely want to fly away from the station and get to a safe distance before it explodes, because if you're too close and the station blows up, it'll do quite a bit of damage to your ship. And in some cases, if your ship is already damaged, it may actually kill you. So you'll definitely want to be careful. Once it explodes, it'll drop tons of raw material, fuel, and sometimes power-ups, such as torpedoes and even automatic shield generators, which are these small green pellet things. These automatically turn your shield on when enemy attacks hit you, but still, it won't always work. And also, if a high-powered weapon hits you, it will damage it, and sometimes destroy it. After the station is destroyed, a wormhole will open, allowing you to get to the next level. As you head through the levels and get to higher levels, the stations will be harder to destroy, as they will have shield defenses of their own, such as these floating purple things that fly around it. If you bump into these or shoot one of them, they will explode and do quite a bit of damage, so you'll definitely want to be careful. Also, the stations will sometimes have guided missiles as well, which can really be a bother. And as mentioned before, they will sometimes have these invisible mines around them, which means if you don't have the radar power up and you get too close to one or shoot it when it's still invisible, it will do serious damage. So you'll definitely want to be careful. And in some cases, if enough of them hit you and they go off, it will kill you on sight. So yeah, you'll definitely want to be careful. One of the best power-ups you can get in the game on the higher levels is the cloaking device. The cloaking device will render your ship invisible, meaning that you'll be able to sneak up on enemy ships and be able to shoot them. however, be warned that you will not be able to fire the higher-powered weapons when you're invisible. And also, the main issue is it uses up fuel very, very quickly. So if your fuel is pretty low, you definitely don't want to use the cloaking device, lest you risk running out of fuel. Because, as I mentioned before, if you use it too long and your ship runs out of fuel, well, it's pretty much game over. This is pretty much Space Madness in a nutshell. Basically, the objective is fly this amazing ship around the space sector, destroy enemy ships, gather cool power-ups, destroy the enemy stations, and then pretty much make it to the next level, and so on and so forth. The game is a total of about 40 or 50 levels. I myself have never actually gotten through the entire game, but I do assume that there's 40 or 50 levels. They do get harder. Now to get into what I like about this game. I love the classic 3D graphics of this game. It is absolutely amazing. For a game of its time, it was pretty interesting. As the game on the back cover says here, Space Madness combines explosive action with compelling realism to create the ultimate gaming experience. For a game of its time, this was pretty interesting. I also love the weapons power-ups too. They can be a bother when you're on the receiving end, such as the guided missiles and torpedoes, but once you get a hold of them, you can do quite a bit of damage to the enemies. The main thing that I'd say I don't really like too much about it is the fact that fuel gets harder to obtain as you go on higher levels, and depending on what power-ups you have, your ship will burn fuel up more quickly. And if you run out of raw material, it will become very difficult to repair the damage to your ship, especially if a vital component has been damaged, like your weapons or shields, or life support. Also forgot to mention earlier, if your life support drops to 0, this will result in game over, so you'll want to be careful. Other than that, Space Madness to this day is a pretty fun game, and I still enjoy it to this day. If you wish to play it, you can download an emulator known as Sheepshaver or Basilisk 2 and set it up there. Setting those up is a bit of a rabbit hole, so it would take me a while to mention on how to get it to set up, as it's complex, so you might want to research those if you wish to set it up yourself. It is a bit complex, and I did have to learn through trial and error, but eventually I got it. The emulators tend to have problems at times, but I have managed to get them to work on my end, and hopefully you will too. So, I am Space Trucker 66, and that is it for this game review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like my videos, I like to make gaming reviews, and I also make animal videos and animal shorts, and also music videos. So until next time, peace out.